Like most people, I contracted the COVID-19 virus and was miserable for about 4 days. This taught me a lot about the male versus female compassion spectrum and its relativity to the age and usefulness of social relationships. I went to the drive-through testing center and waited in about a 2-hour line of cars till I finally got to the end, filled out a bunch of paper forms, and then had a male nurse stick a Q-tip up my nose 2 times to get out some bloody samples. So minimal compassion there. Then he told me to fill out another form online and I would get my results in about a day. These came back positive and I knew, unfortunately, I had COVID. So off I went to Kroger to buy cold and flu medicine, only to be halted by a worker who insisted I needed an ID in the car, which was in the car, to purchase the medicine. I pleaded with the old lady, who finally accepted my verbally offered birthday as proof of age. Announcing my condition to my social network for contact tracing yielded similar results. A group me of girls in my Bible study had responded to my post. "We'll pray for you, hope you feel better, let us know if you need anything." My roommates also offered to bring groceries or medicine, and one of them launched into a full-scale infomercial about the importance of taking the whole dose of medicine until there are no more symptoms. Eat chicken noodle soup, drink lots of fluid, sleep soundly, and reap the benefits of chamomile tea, which he kindly offered to me to use. My male gym buddies did not have quite the same reaction. T-Rex, whom I'd given a ride to the day before, had 0 symptoms and told me, "You're strong, you'll get through it." When I returned to the gym post-quarantine, wizard guy and the tattooed Asian asked where I'd been all week. "I had COVID," I said. "That sucks. Are you still sick?" they asked. Now, if I were still sick, I would not be here powerlifting maskless. "No," I answered, "just a little tired." My country swing dance partner was equally unsympathetic despite having COVID the week before. "I can't come dancing this weekend. I have COVID," I told him. "That sucks. See you when you're better," he responded. I decided to put my classes on Zoom in an effort to avoid contamination, just in case my flu turned out to be COVID, because at first I wasn't sure. The old engineering department head, Dr. Curry, granted permission and said he hoped I would recover quickly. So I croaked through my Zoom classes, much to the dismay of the students who wanted an extended vacation, and relief from listening to a froggy voice. Student compassion is of a different form than the others. It shows the relationship between compassion and usefulness. Only 2 female students responded to my original email about moving classes online due to COVID. But after class, I began getting many random emails from mainly male students expressing condolences in this fashion. "Dear Professor, I hope you're feeling much better now and will be back in the office soon. I have a question about problem 2 on the homework and wondered if you would be available for a Zoom meeting today." At that point, I barely had enough energy to teach and answer emails and none for additional office hours. All I wanted to do was sleep. But after 4 days, I finally began to feel better and had time to reflect on my experience and analyze the effects of gender, age, and usefulness on compassion. Gender had the largest effect, with females having a higher capacity in range than males and following an exponential curve with a quick increase, while males followed a sinusoidal curve with a slower increase in proportion to the usefulness of the invalid to the observer. Now we can see here on the horizontal axis, usefulness goes from 0 to 10. And then on the vertical axis, compassion goes from 0 to 100%. Now here's the equation for the female curve. We can see this is an inverted exponential decay with a first order time response. It goes from the minimum, which is about 50%, to the maximum, 100%. Those are the limits for the female compassion. Now the males has a lot slower increase because it's sinusoidal. And sinusoids are based on midpoint and an amplitude. So here's the midpoint, it's about 40%, and then the maximum generates the amplitude if you subtract the midpoint. So you can see that male compassion tops out at about 80%, no matter how useful you are. But if you're not useful, it's pretty much 0. Now, of lesser but still significant effect is the age of the observer, where older people are more sympathetic than younger, as shown in this 3D plot. Now, this is because when your age is 0, then pretty much all you can do is eat, sleep, and poop. Whereas the older you get, the more life experience you have, the more you're able to understand and relate to the world around you. So kind of in conclusion, we can see that if you increase age and increase usefulness, that will increase compassion. Now this is gender dependent. So basically you'll get minimal sympathy from my guy unless you're at least a 6 in usefulness and he's 50 plus years old. Now, if you're not useful, you get no compassion, regardless of age. On the other hand, female sympathy bottoms out at 50%. If your usefulness exceeds a level 2, you'll receive all the emotional support, food, and medicine you might need for recovery. So in conclusion, you can discern gender with your eyes closed. Just tell them you're sick.